This is the new Feiyu Pocket 3 compact and versatile 3-axis gimbal camera. Up to 4K 60 frames per second with the ability now to go wireless and magnetically mount to any metallic surface. A versatile, stabilized camera, and when it comes to how you want to use it, the only thing holding you back is your creative imagination. A quick shout out to the team at FeiyuTech for sending me out this Feiyu Pocket 3 to test and review. But FeiyuTech aren't paying me to do this review, so any sort of findings or opinions I've got of this camera are mine alone. Straight out of the box, you get the Feiyu Pocket 3 camera along with mounting plate with a 1/4-20 thread and mini tripod. You also get your instruction manual, 2 by various size Velcro strips for versatile mounting, USB 3 to USB-C charging cable, and a camera pouch. One thing I almost missed, you also get a camera gimbal protection hardcover for when traveling with it in your pocket or camera bag. The remote handle for the Pocket 3, which is made of hard plastic, comes with the instruction manual, pouch, wrist strap, and charging cable. I've got quite a bit to get through here, so let's not mess around. How about you come around behind the Feiyu Pocket 3 here, and I'll show you how it all works. Okay, so now I've got a setup where I'm actually behind the Feiyu Pocket 3 with the remote handle. Firstly, I want to make one thing clear here. The remote handle for the Pocket 3, according to the manual, is an optional accessory. You can, however, use this Pocket 3 on your mobile phone via the FeiyuCam app, and FeiyuTech will be offering an optional accessory phone holder as shown in the manual. So firstly, let's have a look at the Feiyu Pocket 3. You can see by the size of my hand, that gives you an idea of the size. With the elements of the camera, you've got your micro SD card slot here. You've also got your USB charging port here. On the top here, you've got your on-off button, as well as your mode button for your gimbal. And this is a shutter/record button right here. But let's just talk about the handle. So the handle is a plastic type construction. Here is your power button. And then on the side, you've got your USB-C charging port. On the front, you've got a little tiny microphone port down here, just above the FeiyuTech name. And this is now a digital zoom. At the side here, you've got your record/shutter button. This is the mode button for your gimbal, and this is your gimbal joystick. So I thought a fun thing to do would be to test out to see how long it connects up to the handle. So let's just turn it all on. This is the Feiyu Pocket 3 turning on. Now we'll turn on the handle and we'll see how long it takes to connect up. Just on over 7 seconds it took to connect up to the remote handle. So now I'm going to show you how it connects up to the remote handle. Don't do what I did. With the back cover, don't try and lift it up. Don't try it, push it sideways. It comes off at the back. So it is a little bit firm, but then, yeah, pull it off backwards. With the little Feiyu Pocket 3, we slide it off the base plate. See, that now becomes a magnetic surface that you can put it onto things like your car and your bike. So when you're connecting the Feiyu Pocket 3 to the handle, you just line up that dovetail joint and slide it in to that USB-C port. Now what I like to do is with the tripod, on the bottom of the remote handle, you've got this little 1/4-20 thread. So I like to use the little tripod as an extension handle. And because I've got bigger hands, this then gives me much more room to grab a hold of the handle and then operate it instead of trying to grab it up around here. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at the menu system on the back of the remote handle. Now I'm not going to go into too much depth here. So if you scroll down, that gives you the different types of setup modes you can use. If you scroll across to the left, that gives you all the different types of things you can do with the gimbal and camera. You've got photos. In that, you've got things like 3:2 aspect, 4:3 and 16:9 plus a timer. You've also got video. So video, you can go up to 4K at 60 frames per second. You just scroll up like that. You've got slow-mo as well. So with slow-mo, you can go 2 times slow-mo in 4K, you can go up to 4 times slow-mo in 1080p, or up to 8 times in 720p. I very much doubt anyone will be using 720p in 2023. In the time lapses, you can actually do time lapse, motion lapse, and hyperlapses. And then you've also got the ability to do panos. The gimbal won't put those panos together for you. What it does is it puts each individual JPEG into a separate folder, and then you have to put those panos together in a post-processing software. When you scroll up, this gives you all the different types of modes that you can use for the gimbal. And if you scroll across to the right, this is where you can preview all your media. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, if you do detach the camera gimbal and mount it on somewhere else, that then stops you being able to access your media. So you'll see here, now if I try to scroll to the right, I can't do that anymore, as well as there's certain settings from choosing up the top of the screen where you're trying to scroll down. I can't do that as well. I still, though, can scroll across to the right and choose to do either photo, slow-mo, panos, all that type of thing. I can also access the type of gimbal settings. All right, so that's a very quick look at the Feiyu Pocket 3 and the remote handle. Let's head out into the field and give this a test. And all the stills and video you're gonna see are straight out of camera. There is no post-processing added. Oh man, what a fantastic day. All right, so the first test for the Feiyu Pocket 3 is vlogging. Now, there's a few things I wanted to test out. First of all was the image quality. This is shooting at 4K at 25 frames per second. The second thing I wanted to test out was the gimbal stabilization. You tell me, does it look steady enough? It looks pretty good on the screen here. The third thing I wanted to test out was the audio. Now, this is being recorded by the small microphone on the handle. So the Feiyu Pocket 3 camera has a little microphone on it, but I noticed when you connect it up to the handle, it defaults to the other little microphone on the handle itself. Now, another test I wanted to do is just to see how far away I could get from the Feiyu Pocket 3 with the remote handle and still be able to control the camera. Okay, so I've got those paired up together. Shooting 4K 25, I'm in record. Let's go back. Let's start off with about 5 meters. Okay, can I still control it? Yep. It's still panning around, it's still on record. Let's go back to 10 meters. I'll just center that, double tap on the mode button. This is at about 10 meters away. So let's just try pan, left to right. Yes, it is, but it's getting a little bit choppy in the transmission. Okay, let's go back to 15 meters. I'll just center that again, double tap. I'm out in bright sunshine here, so I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing the monitor. Let's go left. It is working, but it is a little bit choppy. I'd say this is more like about 25 meters here. There you go, I've actually lost screen. The screen's gone to black. I decided to do the same test again, only without the Pocket 3 in record. I was able to get much more further away this time and still be able to go into record and operate the gimbal. And let's go into record. Ah, see? There you go. Oh, there it is. It worked. It's actually going. It's actually recording. So this is at about the 50 meter mark. So another little scenario, the way you could use this Pocket 3 is using the base plate that you get with the camera. you can attach it to a pole. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it onto my monopod, and I'm going to give the illusion like I'm flying a drone. So what you do is you just screw it on via the 1/4-20 thread, and what I'll do is I'll extend the monopod out. I've got the remote handle as my viewer. So what I'm doing is I'm just following Christy around the basketball court. Now I can tilt up or down, and I can go to the left. Another cool little feature that this Feiyu Pocket 3 has, when you combine it with the remote handle, is that it has AI face tracking. Now you'll notice on the back of the handle there, I've got a little yellow box around my face. So if I start stepping over to the left here, that gimbal should follow me. So if you're in a situation where you're wanting to talk to the camera and still move around, you have this available to you. Just another scenario where you could use this little Pocket 3 camera is if you're into your birds and wildlife vlogs like I am, you could invert your lens collar here, and because it's magnetic, it just sticks to it. So now, let me just go and record for you. Just hit the shutter button at the front. You're going to be seeing what your camera and lens are seeing. Now say for example you wanted to quickly talk to the camera for whatever reason, you hit on the mode button 3 quick times, it spins around, and then you can talk to everyone and tell them what's happening. Here's examples of the different viewing settings. This is at super wide angle view, this is wide angle view, and this is narrow angle view. I magnetically connected the Pocket 3 to the bonnet of my car and took it for a drive. I was pretty impressed by the smoothness of the gimbal, and you notice when I turn the corner here, the gimbal in follow mode turns before the car does. 3 quick taps on the mode button on the remote handle, and the gimbal turns the camera around to face you, and you get this very cool angle looking back into the cabin of the car. If you were recording audio inside the car, this would be a great second B-roll angle. Side note here, remember this camera is not weatherproof, so be careful not to go driving in rain or snow. Alright, time to get my Evel Knievel happening and mount the Pocket 3 magnetically to my handlebars on my bike. I'm cruising along on my mountain bike here. I've got the FeiyuTech Pocket 3 on the handlebars. Just doing an audio test just to see what the microphone is like on the back of the Pocket 3. I guess this is what you could call nostril cam. This is the Pocket 3 where I've got it turned around at me. I just wanted to see what the audio is like while I was talking. I guess that's the beauty about this little camera, is that you can just flip it around very, very quickly if you wanted to talk back to the camera. Okay, I'm just going over some rough stuff just to see what the gimbal's like on the bike. I wouldn't call it really rough, but it's just over grass and everything. It's still pretty dry here, so I'm getting some decent old bumps. I have to admit the magnet is hanging onto the handlebars pretty good. Again, this is the audio from the Feiyu Pocket 3, and I'm now just testing what the digital zoom is like. So I can digitally zoom this up to 4 times. I'm just going to go into that tree up there. I'm just going to tilt up a bit and just zoom in to the maximum 4. So that's what it's like at that full zoom. So you tell me, what's the image quality like at that full zoom? I know when you digitally zoom things, you do lose a bit of image quality. I got this awesome sunset with light rays bursting through the clouds in a time lapse with the Pocket 3. This is what motion lapses look like when you set your waypoint markers from right to left. And this is what hyperlapse looks like at 5 times speed, but you can go up to 30 times speed. The Feiyu Pocket 3 camera pros for me were that the stabilization in the gimbal is nothing short of excellent. FeiyuTech have long had a reputation of putting out quality gimbals, and this is no exception. Having the ability to now wirelessly separate the camera and gimbal section from the optional accessory remote handle opens up a whole new scope of creative possibilities. Being able to magnetically mount the Pocket 3 to anything metallic is actually very handy. And I was impressed by how far away I could get from the Pocket 3 with the remote handle and still have control over the camera. Lastly, I do like the versatility of having photos, video, time lapses, slow motion, panos at my fingertips, and all combined conveniently in one little unit. The Pocket 3 cons for me were the AI face tracking could do with some improvement, as it was a bit clunky and sticky following my face from side to side, and it sometimes lost my face when I had strong backlighting in the frame. When using the remote handle, you do get audible noise from using the controls while recording, and you have to be continually aware your hand is not covering the microphone. I thought the audio quality too could do with some refinement, and I could not hear my video clips when I played them back on the remote handle. Now, whether it's supposed to be that way or not, I'm not sure. Maybe I was doing something wrong with an incorrect setting, or maybe it can be fixed via a future firmware update. I have actually contacted the FeiyuTech support team about this, and if I do get an answer, I'll update you in the video description box below. For any more information on this Feiyu Pocket 3, I've actually left you a link in the video description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.